All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing the energy side of this oil and energy technical analysis video. We will be looking at American Lithium and Lithium America. I know it's a little bit of a tongue twister there, but yeah, obviously both are in the lithium world. Before getting into the details, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There's not a lot on this chart, right? But I was still able to make some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we're done up here, we'll use, well, we can't use the MACD because it doesn't exist. We can barely use the RSI, but it's there. And then we do have some volume. So look, this is a beautiful example of what to do when there's very little you can do, right? I mean, I know a lot of people that actually will not trade an IPO stock. This thing was an uplist, right? This used to be an over-the-counter. It was able to move up. But yeah, whether it moves up, whether it IPOs, whatever it is, there are a number of things missing. And for some, just walk away. You know what? Let people make money here. You can just wait till it's, knock on wood, or theoretically safer when we have more technical information, right? I'm a fan of this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is a good cheap lithium play, but I'm not here for long term. I talk short term swing. So what have I been doing? I've really been using a lot of the candles, right? That's mainly been the thing. We were able to use the 8 moving average on a couple videos, obviously not in the beginning, right? And I do remember saying, hey, it seems like we might be losing the 8 moving average, and that's clearly what happened, right? From there, what do you know? 20 days pass, we get our orange 20 moving average line. And look, I call them magic lines. I know it sounds really silly. This should be a very professional and serious video, right? But these moving averages, they're like magic little lines. And I'm telling you, the fact that that popped up there, I sincerely believe is the reason that went up right there. Okay, if you disagree with me, let me know. Throw it in the charts. Maybe there was news someday, and I'm obviously oblivious to the news, right? But I sincerely believe the fact that that was the 20th day, the fact that that dot comes that day, that's why that comes up. The computers that have more money than I do, that are programmed to probably move on some sort of lines, right? They knew. That's my theory, right? So, beautiful. What then happens is, look, can we get over the 8? Because clearly we're over the 20, but we're not over the 8, right? And I'm not going to call these last 2 candles good confirmation candles. Yeah, they're both over the 8. They're both at least over this day. But what does suck is this day closed down here, which was higher than this. But now we're closing lower than yesterday, right? We weren't able to at least close maybe here-ish, right? Still even like a penny above yesterday, right? So I don't like that our lows are coming lower. We're coming lower to this, but we've only used this once so far to bounce, right? We went non-existent, and I wouldn't even call this a bounce. I would just kind of call this from falling under a first up, right? So I don't know if we're going to bounce up. And let's be honest, NASDAQ's kind of cooling off. I haven't made a NASDAQ video in a while. I probably should do that. But yeah, we had a good January. February's not as rockety, right? So, things kind of need to cool off. And we're just kind of waiting to see how healthy of that cool off it is. But right now, look, I don't have a lot to use. Let me see if there's any sort of... okay, so... this went like this, right? And then it fell. That's not good. Even from the, like, what am I going to do? Maybe I can draw that. So even drawing that, so what did I do? I went from this corner to this corner. Then I adjusted from this corner to that corner, the next green one, right? So this kind of tells me, hey, it actually might come relatively close to 325. I look, if these two are able to use it as a bounce, that would be great. But yeah, this trend line might end up being what saves it if we fall below these. Okay. Again, not too much info here. I'm trying to use what I can, right? But yeah, I'll obviously draw a new line right here. So that's going to be an important one to break. And actually, you can see it. That wasn't right. If you can get over this one, that would have kept going up, right? You would have started maybe doing the all-time high push, but that makes sense why that one didn't go up actually. So, but yeah, it just really seems like I don't think we're gonna use this 8 as a bounce, and I'm not too sure if we're gonna use the 20 as a bounce. Because look, again, it's super tight and there's not much to use, but it actually looks like the RSI might be curving down, right? There was a little bit of a peak up where it might have started going like that, but then it definitely didn't and is kind of coming back, right? So I'm seeing a weakening RSI. I'm seeing a very weakening slope. It went from that nice uptrend to, still uptrend, but not as steep, right? So, yeah, things aren't looking beautiful. And then real quick, what are the numbers? So we hopefully bounce at 348, hopefully no lower than 338, roughly 340. And then, yeah, if we lose 340, it seemed like roughly right here is where that trend line would have hit the candle. So, what does the weekly look like, if anything? Again, we don't even have an 8 moving average. We barely have volume to look at. Yeah, there's not too much really, right? So very, very minimal analysis. If you've got anything else, throw it. But I think the biggest takeaway right here is the day that the 20 goes, this thing pops up. And yeah, I believe that's not an anomaly. So again, what we were just looking at was American lithium. This next one is lithium Americas, okay? Let me zoom out because clearly a good amount has happened here. So first and foremost, hey, look at that, right? Riding the 8 moving average like a beast, okay? I love it, all right? Was it a decent profit? Look, it wasn't a monstrous profit. Obviously, this was a nice little rocket that, if I'm not mistaken, was news with General Motors or General Electric, something like that. But that was actually some sort of news from what I remember, okay? And then look, it's funny that these are all red candles, but this is a nice technical move, right? It tries to break, it doesn't try, it actually does break 2 and the last 2 moving averages on a single day. By no means is this good confirmation the day after, right? We're technically over both, but yeah, I want it to be up here or up here, right, for good confirmation. We then basically start to come under, but boom, we're able to use the 8 as a bounce up, right? I'm telling you, I love the 8 moving average. And one time we lose the 8 but use the 20, right? The fact that these two are both coming up together, that's a good thing, because hey, hopefully if we lose the 8, the 20 is not that far away, right? But yeah, nice movement right here. It's funny because look, I've seen a lot more stocks doing this with a parallel, sorry, I keep saying parallel instead of horizontal, a horizontal RSI in a relatively high position. This thing's literally living in the 80s, right? This 79, 76, 79, 76, I'm going around 77, 78, right? It's just 80s, 75. It doesn't mind living up here, and that's weird. Once it hits 80, it tends to need to cool down, and even with the volume dropping significantly, it was actually able to hold the uptrend pretty well. So yeah, I do think that the news was pretty real. Obviously, the company, I mentioned GE or GM, I don't remember which one, but it was a major company that partnered with them, right? It wasn't some, I'm hoping to be a big name too one day. It was literally a big player in many, many industries, right? So I'm just kind of zooming out to see what this thing looks like, because honestly, I don't know this stock too well. I know American Lithium a lot better, especially when it was LIACF. But yeah, there's definitely a few lines I will be drawing here. But yeah, this thing made a real nice move, right? And then it just kind of comes back, bounces on the 100. I'm going way back again. Like I said, I was just looking at that more for me than this video, which is not a good thing. I will go ahead and draw, obviously, this down here. We want to know where the bottom is. From there, we have at least all these moving averages here. So the next one I would probably draw would be this guy right there. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd like one in between, but I think I'm okay with that because there's definitely like a red right there. So Yeah, I think I don't need any more lines right there. Let's go to the weekly though, just to see what the week. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful weekly chart. Man, I like this a lot. Interesting. And I think that speaks to why this daily's been holding. Look at this. We are now, where do we have a 200? Yeah. Okay, obviously Friday is tomorrow. What's this 50 at? As long as we stay above 25.36, right? You just break it by a penny. That's all I need. We will be closing the weekly above all 5 moving averages. And next week will matter a lot, but that's a nice looking MACD. I mean, I've seen worse RSIs. I wish it was just a little more peaked up, but that's a good amount of volume over the last couple weeks. This could be interesting, actually. I gotta clear my throat. You can see my excitement. No, I'm kidding. Let me draw a couple lines though. I'm gonna put that guy right there. I can go a little higher on that one, and I will. Let me just draw this one right there. That one was better. Oh, I think I put it the exact same spot. Oh my goodness, we're gonna leave it there, and that's pissing me off. But whatever. Yeah, look, I'll be honest. There is a $38 target here. Let me see what that looks like on the daily. Yeah, look at that. There really is a lot of reason to believe 38 is very real. Let me see what that looks like. I'll throw that one as well. I think 34 might be pretty realistic. 31 will not be an easy break. But yeah, I'm liking that weekly a lot. It's been living up here. You know, generally I say this is high for RSI, but um, yeah, I am liking this. I wouldn't mind a little bit of a cool down though. Obviously not tomorrow. Tomorrow needs to close over that 50 that we said, right? Over that 36 cent mark. But if Monday wanted to cool down a little bit and then you go ahead and take off, I actually would be okay with that. But LAC is on my radar, and honestly, I will probably use this if I was to enter. I would see what that break looks like. So let me make an alert. What is that at? 27.43. Let's put that 45. Give me 2 cents over that line. And I would be, again, an alert is not an immediate buy notification. An alert is, hey, come check out your chart and see if it's worth doing, right? So just keep that in mind. But yeah, LAC, I like the weekly. And again, if your weekly is good, that means your dailies will be great, right? So close Friday well. Next week's confirmation will be important as well, right? And I would love good confirmation. So that might take us to the 31, right? And it doesn't have to happen immediately, right? That's what I'm saying. If Monday cools down and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday rockets, hey, that's perfect, right? So there's a couple ways it could play out with a cool down plus a continuation. That's by no means an absurd request. So hey, if you disagree with anything, obviously throw it in the comments. Otherwise, I appreciate your time, and more videos are coming.